Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Manga Talk series. I've got an exciting one today because this is going to be mainly a manga haul episode. So, got a couple of pretty good pickups over the past, I would say, month or two. They are pretty varied as well. So, we've got a couple of horror manga releases, we've got picture books, and some other art books as well. And later on, because recently Glacier Bay Books has put out and announced their Kickstarter for their new 5 books. I just wanted to briefly talk about that later in the episode as well, because if you haven't supported them, well, just wanted to give an example of some of the works that they do, because they are, in my view, the best publisher out there right now. It's a publisher that has pretty much aligned with my manga taste for like the most clearly out of any other ones. But anyways, I'll talk about that a bit later. So we've got a couple of different books here that I want to go through. I think I should go through the horror manga first. So these two we'll have a look at a little bit later. But horror manga. So the first thing I want to show off is this book here, which is a book called Mushikui, which is something like Eaten by Insects, by a mangaka duo by the name of Saiko Kaburagi. So this one I actually picked up from a Japan Book Hunter live that he did. He did a horror live stream and was selling a bunch of horror stuff there, and I picked this one up from that stream. Here is some examples of some of the manga that he has on the website. Highly recommend Yuichi Yokoyama and Yamazaki Toru. I will get one day. But yeah, shout out to Japan Book Hunter. And this specific book, or the reason why I wanted to get this manga specifically, was I was told by someone that because the duo is like there's a writer and an illustrator. So the illustrator of the manga, they were actually arrested for corpse abandonment of their mother back in, I'm not sure when, but yeah, so and I was told as well that apparently this sometimes happens where they like don't report a death to continue receiving like pension or social security payments, which is like kind of screwed up. But that caught my interest, especially because Saiko Kaburagi, they do a lot of this like slasher type horror manga. And so this is my very first manga from them. A lot of their stuff is actually hard to get. They didn't put anything out in Hibari specifically, but they put out other stuff in other horror magazine venues, and they do have quite a couple of tankobon that have been released over the years. But this looks way up my alley. Some more shoujo horror, and it's just very interesting to know about the backstory of the mangaka as well. So I don't know too much other than that. I haven't really researched them yet. Again, this is just a haul video. I haven't read any of these books, but very excited to have my very first Saiko Kaburagi book. I don't really know why their other stuff goes for so much. Maybe it is because of that incident. I don't really know too much about that, but at least we've got one to start off with. So hopefully I'll be reading that soon. Next one is actually another, so this is a Hibari Comics release, but this is a reprint. So this is a book titled something like Vampire Girl Violet by someone who I actually don't know how to pronounce the name of, something Koenji. So this I got off Mandarake. So Mandarake sometimes does these like reprints, which are so hard to get for some reason. Like they don't ship internationally sometimes for the reprints. I remember they did one for they've done a lot for like different horror manga and kashihon and all of that. But this one surprisingly was easy to get because it could ship overseas. And there have been multiple reprints of this, where this one specifically is like a red-pink color for the border. There's like different variations of blue and yellow. So it has been reprinted a couple of times, and I don't know anything about the author or the story or the background to it, but this was just a reprint that I was looking for. I was like, oh, okay. I was looking for horror manga at the time, and this one popped up. I'm like, okay, I might as well pick it up because I haven't been able to get any of the Mandarake reprint series for horror manga. And it looks pretty good, pretty good. Again, no idea what the story could be about, except, of course, vampires. Got the Hibari logo there. That's pretty cool. And it's just very weird to hold a Hibari comics book that is not old and dirty and smelly. Very weird to me, because every other release that I have from Hibari, of course, because they're from way back when, they're all old and stuff. So yeah, that's another cool one. I don't know how to pronounce the name. If anyone knows, please let me know. But yeah, that's the second thing that I got. It was also like a pre-order as well, so it took a while to come to me, but finally it's here. So always happy to get more horror releases, and we've got an English horror release. So this is the Horrors of Noroi Michiru, put out by Starfruit Books. This has been in the works for quite a while, and I'm finally happy to have received it. So I got this through Sendai Books. So they distribute a lot of the Glacier Bay stuff, Starfruit Books, a lot of alt manga, and they're very... It's great if you live in the EU or like Europe and Australia, because EU, I know it's like free shipping, and then to Australia it's cheap, pretty cheap shipping. So here is a postcard by them. I'm not sure if every single purchase of this has the postcard, but pretty damn cool. And the cover is just so good. I love the chaos of it. Super detailed. I believe the art was actually drawn specifically for this English release. I don't remember seeing this cover art for any of like Michiru's Japanese releases, but this is a volume 1, so hopefully there will be more to come in the future. But I have not read this. Got some French flaps, and just do a flick through. So these are the stories. I do have a Noroi Michiru tankobon called The Lion's Sound, or was it Neck? I forgot. Oto and Kubi look similar to me, but I haven't read that either. So this will probably be my first Noroi Michiru read, despite me having the Japanese release for like a couple of years now. But very excited, always happy to get some more English releases of horror works. So yeah, those were the 3 horror pickups that I've had for the past 2 months. Very excited for each of them. They each have their own charms. So we'll move on to the next book, which will be actually, you may have seen this before, but here we go. We have got the King Terry release, finally. So this is the King Terry, pretty much say, I guess, art book plus manga. And here is the shiny sticker that came along with it, which I wasn't expecting to get because I thought it was only like a limited edition thing, but it did come in the package, so happy. And this is just like a little advertisement. So it was published by Kondoh Books. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, so what happened was King Terry, they had their exhibition for this new book. It was showcasing this and all of the Garo cover art that he did, because essentially this book is a collection of all of the Garo cover arts he did over the years. So finally happy that this has happened, because I have always been wanting for something to collate everything he's done for Garo, and I do have quite a couple of these, but just to have this all in an art book and pretty good quality as well is a very, very good thing to have. So yeah, he's done covers pretty much from, I would say, early 70s to late 80s. I'm not sure if he's done any 90s stuff, but so 77. I know he did like 70s, something. Yeah, so I guess it started from 77 and went all the way to like the 80s. 87. Tons, like if you have a look at this, that's all the cover art through there. So he's done tons. And even better, we have new manga from him for the very first time in years. So it's a continuation or an extra story to Penguin Rice or Penguin Gohan. Here is all the pictures of him, and I have yet to read this, but I did not expect to be living in a time where Penguin Rice would receive another chapter. So very happy about that, and a very high quality book as well. So this one I ordered online straight from the store itself. So I don't know if there's still stock for it, to be honest, because it's ordered like a month or something ago when when it was first announced, pretty much, and it popped up onto the site. That was when I ordered this. So yeah, very happy to have this. It was not expecting a new King Terry release. Terry Johnson, Flamingo, Terry, everything like that. But super happy with that. Alright, so that was the King Terry book. Let's move on to the picture books for today. So we'll start off with this one. This is I Am a Wolf After All by Sasaki Maki, translated by Ottilia Tanaka. And this was also, I bought this alongside the Noroi Michiru book that's I showed off previously from Sendai. So again, shout out to Sendai. So this picture book I have been wanting to get for quite a while, except that the people who stocked this picture book were all in the US. I know 50 Watts Books is like the main, I think they were the ones that, they published this, and they definitely had it on their store, but just because, their shipping's too expensive for me, I never got it. So finally Sendai was able to get that, and I happily picked it up. So I don't know anything about this book. I definitely know this character. It's translated as Humph here, but in a lot of Sasaki Maki's manga, you can see this black wolf going like ke in the Japanese version. And so extremely happy to have a color release by Sasaki Maki. This is my first picture book from them. I do want to pick up more picture books from them in the future once I finish this off. But I wonder if there will be more English releases of his picture book stuff, because as of right now, in terms of the English releases for Sasaki Maki, it is pretty much just this and Ding Dong Circus and the Ding Dong Circus reprint. So he has recently released like another new manga, but of course it won't be translated immediately. I hope it will be one day, but there is still a number of books that can be taken from and translated into English. So hopefully that will come sometime in the future. But yeah, I'm a Wolf After All. Finally have this after talking about it maybe like a year or two ago on the channel. But highly recommend for any Sasaki Maki fans. And then the next picture book we have is, I did show in the 100 posters from Japanese underground theater video that I did. This is Kage by Shinohara Katsuyuki. I have not read this yet, so it'll just be a little bit of a flick through of it. But this I have been wanting for pretty much 2 years. Finally got it. It was a bit expensive, but haven't seen it at all anywhere, so I kind of had to pick it up. And it's a picture book by so Shinohara Katsuyuki is an artist that was prominently featured in the Angura book that I showed off. He's also like a TV personality as well, similar to Ebisu. And a lot of the art here reminds me of like Akasegawa Genpei or Hayashi Seiichi, especially with the colors. Like this, for example, is something that you might see in Hayashi Seiichi. I believe Hayashi Seiichi actually did a short film called Shadow. Nothing related to this, of course, but it was about like alluding to, or an allegory for like the nuclear bombings, something like that. I might be mistaken. I'm pretty sure it's called Shadow as well. But so captivating, all this. It's so weird and surreal, which is what I love. But yeah, no idea what this is about. This was published in 1976. Quite a thin one. Not too much to it, but I will get on reading this soon. So Kage, very excited for that. And so that is pretty much the haul that I've gotten for the past couple months. Let me get some other books. Okay, so the next section of this video will just be talking about the new Glacier Bay Books releases. Well, not releases, the Kickstarter. So I am a very, very big fan of Glacier Bay Books, and they had recently put out a Kickstarter which is currently on the way, and it includes 5 new titles. So I have books from every artist. There's 5 of them, but except for one of them, which is Tarayumi, I believe. It's they're reprinting or licensing an older josei work from them, which I've never really heard about in terms of other works that they've done. I know that Glacier Bay has put out another work by them in the past, but I don't have that one. So the other 4 I'll go through. So one of them here is actually this specific book. So this is Baku-chan by Masumura Juushuichi. They had previously put out a book called The Children of Newtown, which was also released in English by Glacier Bay. I picked this up from the previous Kickstarter where it was reprinted. Pretty good detective, well, sorry, not detective, like crime thriller story. Love the art of this, and specifically love the character design of this guy over here with the red band. He reminds me of, like, I think it was Ebisu from Doro Hetero. One of the guys, no, maybe not Ebisu. One of the guys had like a red band over his eyes. But yeah, they will be releasing an English version of Baku-chan in the Kickstarter. So Baku-chan, this is the Japanese version of it. It is a pretty different story, but has still some similarities with Newtown, where we are following this tapir character who is immigrating to Earth, and we essentially follow his journey, trying to, you know, fit in, make friends, survive, learn about this new environment that he's in. And it's very cute, but at the same time it's also pretty realistic as well. Can be bittersweet too, because there's a lot of challenges with immigrating. And this, I believe I read that was based on the mangaka's own experience immigrating to Canada, something like that. I will have to double check, but yeah, finally in English. Even though I have this in Japanese, I will be picking up the English release as well. I supported all the 5 books, so highly recommend to keep a lookout for this and to support that if you want this specific book in English. One of the other titles that was announced was by Oumi Konomi, if I am correct. Hopefully I'm correct in that. But yeah, this is another release that Glacier Bay has put out for Oumi Konomi. It's a short story collection called From This Flame. Picked this up quite a while ago, but their art is so good. It's very, like, I would say fairy tale like, very magical, as you can see here. So excited to get even more stories from Oumi Konomi. And I think this was just quite an older release. Yeah, okay, so 2021. I don't know whether this is easy to get anymore. I don't really see this book anymore, so I'm very happy that I actually have From This Flame here. But look forward to yet another release if you are an Oumi Konomi fan, or if you just love magical art, very detailed art. And then here, one of the releases I was looking forward to the most is by Akino Kondoh, titled, I think, Box Beetle Insect, the English version. Either way, I had actually wanted to get the Japanese version for the longest time, but I kind of had a feeling like, okay, it's gotta be released in English sometime, and then I kind of forgot about it. And then now Glacier Bay had announced that they were publishing their works finally, because Akino Kondoh was published in Glaolia, I think in 3, a couple of their stuff there. So, had to be eventually one day that they would also release an English version. So very happy about that. This here is an art book by Akino Kondoh. I did go through in a previous video quite a while ago, but this here actually is the cover art for the Japanese version, and I believe they're going to use this for the English release as well. So very, very excited. What I have read from Akino Kondoh so far has been the Glaolia chapters, plus maybe 1 or 2 chapters in very early Axe issues. And from what I've read, really weird, which is right up my alley. But this art book as well is so good. I got this for pretty cheap as well, so very happy about that. So I just wanted to showcase what Akino Kondoh can do, the type of subject matter and the weird stuff that she can put on paper. But look forward to that. I am very, very excited for the release. It's going to be a short story collection. The original was published by Seirin Kogeisha, who published Axe, because I believe all the stories did come from Axe. So maybe I will be revisiting some of them when we get that in the future. All right, and so the last author that I wanted to show off, they were also featured in Glaolia as well. I think Glaolia 3 with a short story, but I will show what they've done as well outside that I have, at least. So this is Kakuu, one of the other like doujinshi manga magazines, and the manga we're talking about today is Kawakatsu Tokushige, which, what page are they? Page 101. Okay, they actually did multiple works. There should be another work here that's like, okay, yes. So I did a manga magazine episode on this issue specifically, so if you want to see all the stories, then check that out. But yeah, Kawakatsu Tokushige has 2 stories in here. One big one about this, like hunting this, what's the name of it? Tanuki. And they are also like a manga scholar as well, so they're pretty involved in the alt manga scene. So to finally have a book out from them, very happy. I believe it's also just another short story collection too. And Kawakatsu Tokushige has released I think he released something last year, which was based off of like another work. But since seeing his work from Glaolia 3, that one was such a good short story that it was very memorable. So happy now that they're finally getting their own chapter. Sorry, not chapter, book. This here is actually a work. So this is also by Kawakatsu Tokushige, but it's kind of in the style of Akasegawa Genpei, or it's talking about his experience with Akasegawa Genpei, which is cool. But yeah, look forward to that. I believe this will be the first Kawakatsu English release outside of the singular chapters that were released. So yeah, that was a Glacier Bay Kickstarter kind of intro to the artist, and well, 4 out of 5 of the artists that will be released in English. Hopefully I'll be able to put this out before the Kickstarter closes, because I know I'm a bit late. I think hopefully there's still time, but I'll do my best. Maybe I'll push this up first before the other video, because I do have one more video lined up before this. Maybe I'll do this one first, just so, if anyone is still iffy or thinking about the Kickstarter, hopefully this video will help you, will push you to support an amazing publisher. And I will also link another conversation in the description where it was between Glacier Bay and another publisher. I think the name was Bulligan, something like that. Very interesting read. So if you're interested in like the behind the scenes of publishing and managing a small publisher, then check that conversation out. It's quite a good one. And yeah, so I think that's going to be the end of this section. for the video. Oh, I guess end of this video, because I do want to make sure this video goes out before the Kickstarter ends, because what's the point if not? But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Had a good couple of pickups for these past 2 months. And yeah, please support Glacier Bay Books in their Kickstarter, my favorite publisher at the moment. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.